My name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today we're going to learn the spooky grid move. Whoa, sorry about that. Movement game, Scooby-Doo the board game. This is a 1 to 5 player game designed by Guy Goulart and Fred Pierre and published by Cool Mini or Not or Simon Games. In this game, you have a mystery to solve, gang, as you take on the role of one of the Scooby-Doo gang members of Mystery Incorporated to solve the mystery and to unmask the monster. Clash against classic monsters from the movie show Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Will you be able to solve the mystery and the bad guy be foiled by you meddling kids and their dog? Or will the bad guy finally get away with it? Find out as we go to the table and learn how to play Scooby-Doo the board game. Each player chooses one Scooby gang member and places it in front of them and takes the corresponding figure that goes with it and places it at its primary location in the board. So Shaggy starts at the malt shop, obviously, and Velma starts at Wolf's End Lodge. If you do have the deluxe edition, Scrappy-Doo will start in the airfield, which is right here. These locations are indicated by each character's card. Shuffle the monster ID cards, choose one, and place it within reach of all players. So we're going to actually choose the Ghost Clown because he's the earliest ghost Mystery Incorporated actually faced in the series. And we place his figure. All monster figures start in the Witch's Shack. And then you return the rest of the monsters to the box, as they will not be used for the rest of the game. You can either do this the way I did, where I picked it, or you can randomly select a monster as well for a little more spice. If this is your first time playing this game, I do recommend that you select your monster. Players play a level of difficulty for their traps. So if they have like this green bone, that's easy. 2 bones that are yellow, Scooby Snacks, that's medium. And 3 Scooby Snacks, that's hard. And then once you select your difficulty, you also select the number of traps that you need to do in order to win the game, based off of your player count. If you're playing a 1 to 3 player game, you get to pick 4 traps, but if you're playing a 4 to 5, you pick 5 traps. So since we are going to be playing a 2-player game, we'll be doing 4 traps, and we want to make sure that this is pretty inviting, so we're going to set up 4 easy traps to accomplish. You place the tokens according to the level of difficulty. So you have 6 tokens for easy, 5 for medium, and hard as well. Since we are playing, we're trying to do a little bit of an easy game, we're going to do 6. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 tokens, and you place them down here below where the monster deck will be going. Then you place the trap cards forming a line as we previously done. Make sure to shuffle the monster cards and place them on the monster deck space. Shuffle the Scooby-Doo cards, and we'll do the Genie magic now. And put them in the draw deck space. Make sure to give each player a sandwich, and you will place that right up here on your player card in the top left corner. Make sure you place the mystery machine at Vasquez Castle, as well as the card and the 3 gas can tokens by the board within reach of all players. and then place all the visitor tokens in the visitor spaces around the board, and I will activate my Genie magic now. Like so. Once all that's done, you are ready to begin your game. And that completes the setup. You're now ready to solve a mystery. The game is played in a series of rounds, each consisting of these following phases. First, we start with the draw and choose a card phase. Each player will draw 2 cards from the Scooby-Doo deck in any player order they prefer. But if it will help you to keep it a little more organized, you could start with Fred and then just kind of go from where Fred is sitting. But if you're playing a full 5-player game, or if someone is playing as Fred. Then without telling the other players, each player selects 1 card, places it face down in front of them, and the remaining card goes face down in the save deck space on your city board. The contents of these cards cannot be revealed at this time, but vague hints can be given, such as, I can't reach the mystery machine, or I'm running very fast this turn. If at any time players need to draw cards from the deck and there is none left, shuffle the save deck to create a new deck and place it face down in the draw deck slot. If there's still not enough cards to draw, the players immediately lose the game. All players reveal their cards simultaneously. Players take the top monster card of the monster deck, reveal it, and place it next to the city board. Compare the initiative of all Scooby Gang cards and the monster card to determine the order in which all characters play. The turn order changes from one round to another based on initiative. And if it helps you, you can place the cards in order from lowest to highest. During the action phase, players perform their turn following the initiative order. Note that a Scooby Gang member turn operates differently from other monsters. When a Scooby Gang member initiative comes up, they perform these following steps in order. First, they can move the number of spaces on the Scooby Gang card. So Shaggy can move up to 2 spaces. They can only move through locations indicated by road signs. So anything that has like this dotted line, if they have this red line, they cannot cross through that. They might also choose not to move, staying in their location. Red lines on the city board are blocked paths that prevent characters from passing through. When a Scooby Gang figure moves, they may freely pass through other Scooby Gang figures. However, they cannot end their move in an area with another Scooby Gang member in there and must move to either the previous or the next space over. However, up to 2 Mystery Incorporated members can be in the same space if they're in Swamp's End General Store. It is the only location on the board that members can share a space. Scooby Gang members suffer fright when they enter the location of the ghost, or when the monster enters their area. However, starting their turn in the same location as the monster won't cause fright. Each time a Scooby Gang member suffers fright, discard the top 2 cards from the draw deck. So since Velma went into the Ghost Clown's location, she discards 2, but since the Ghost Clown also went in Shaggy's location, also suffers 2 fright. And just put the cards face up in the discard pile. The Mystery Machine begins the game at Vasquez Castle. Any location where the Mystery Machine is may have an additional Scooby Gang member in that space. A Scooby Gang member that ends their move at a location where the Mystery Machine is may discard one gas token from the Mystery Machine ID card, removing it from the game, and place themselves and the Mystery Machine on any other location on the city board, moving them along with the Mystery Machine, and any other location on the city board. Moving with the Mystery Machine is part of the Scooby Gang members' move. Therefore, it takes place before performing a location action. It's important to note, however, that there are no remaining gas tokens on the Mystery Machine ID card. It can't move because it's out of gas. And there's no gas station within miles. So, use it wisely. Additionally, when moving with the Mystery Machine, the Scooby Gang member may bring along one other Scooby Gang member who shared the Mystery Machine's initial location, provided that the final location can hold all Scooby Gang members. So, you have to make sure that you're basically here in order to end it. Once a Scooby Gang member ends their movement or decides not to move, they may perform one of the actions available at the location. So, Shaggy's at the airfield, which means he can either get this wrench token or gain this net token, restore a guest, and bring back a discarded card. So we'll do that one. We'll restore a guest, grab the net, and we will restore one card to the saved card deck. So the actions basically are what I said. You can recover a Scooby Gang card by moving the indicated number of Scooby Gang cards from the top of the discard pile to the saved deck. And if Scooby himself is on the space, which is at Wolf's End Lodge, that means that you can recover as many cards in the discard pile equal to the number of members of Mystery Incorporated that's on the board. If there's a symbol on the board that looks like this, that means that you can restore a number of visitor tokens to the board. As the game progresses, many visitors will be scared when the ghost visits their location. You have to remove the token. You can visit these locations and restore people's trust in Mystery Incorporated. Just like recovering Scooby Gang cards, the numbers will indicate how many visitors you've restored. 1 for 1, 2 for 2, etc., etc. You can also remove the indicated number of monster tokens from any component and place it back in the monster token space. -1 for removing one of the -2, and -2 for removing 2 monster tokens. -2 is over here, -1's over there. When a Scooby Gang member gets a resource by moving into a location, first they will pick the resource they want, and then they will place it down in this bottom section of their player card, like so, on their ID cards. Each ID card can hold a minimum of 6 resources, 1 per slot though, so let's not get too greedy. If a Scooby Gang member would gain more resources than the number of slots available, they must select which ones to keep and return the exceeding resource to the pool. Now, the Craft Traps ability is exclusive to the general store. And what happens is you can then pick a trap and you can place as many tokens as you have in your player card that matches on the different trap cards. Each trap card lists a number of any type of resource tokens that are required to complete it. The Scooby Gang member takes any number of their resource tokens that match the chosen trap and places them in the corresponding slot. Once players start building a trap, they must finish it before starting a new one. So that means we would need to, like so. A trap is completed when it has all listed resources on it. The trap card then removes the tokens that are on it, and you flip it face down to indicate that it is completed. You can do these traps in any order. There's no necessary order for each of these traps to be completed in. If the gang member has any resources left, they can start to craft a new trap during the same action. When all traps are completed, the monster is immediately trapped and the players win the game. A little note, in an easy difficulty, players are allowed to build more than one trap at a time. However, in the hard difficulty level, each trap card has an effect listed on its back that hinders the players from the remainder of the game. This effect activated once the trap is complete and its card is flipped over. Players are not allowed to peek at the effect and choose what traps to complete first. So, for example, here's a little more tougher trap. If this trap right here was finished, it has an ability that says +2 Scooby-Doo gang cards. When a monster frightens one of the members of Mystery Incorporated, and Shaggy frightens very easily. Each Scooby gang member has a unique ability. The ability can be used anytime during their turn, in addition to their move, the location and location action, but once per game only. When the ability is used, you take the sandwich token and flip it to the eaten side and place it on your ID card, indicating that you have used your ability up and you can't use it again for the rest of the game. When the monster's initiative comes up, they perform the following steps in order. First, you check for the monster activation. It looks like those eyes down at the bottom of the card. However, this card doesn't have that, so he just moves 4. If present, the symbol indicates that the monster's ability is active for this turn. Some monsters also have passive rules indicated on the bottom bar. These rules are in effect at all times. So, the Ghost Clown has an ability. If the monster card is shown with a monster ability, the Ghost Clown adds 1 monster token to an empty visitor token slot. So if there was one missing here, we had a monster token there. In each location he enters, there can only be 1 monster token per location. Now remember, it has to be empty though, so you can't replace any. And the added ability is, visitor tokens can't be added to occupied slots. Haunted tokens can't be removed from locations with monster tokens. So that's troublesome. Monster abilities are unique to each monster, but they all use monster tokens in different ways when activated. If the monster ever activates its ability and there are no remaining tokens to place, the players immediately lose the game. The monster card indicates how far the monster moves by the number. It'll be red, blue, or green, and the arrow, same thing. So the Ghost Clown can move 4 spaces with red arrows, and you have to move the direction that the arrow indicates. So he can only move because of this red arrow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course we have to suffer some fright. There we go. The monster card indicates how many locations the monster moves this turn, as well as the path they will take. Blue, red, or green. Move the monster on the city board according to the monster card through locations indicated by road signs. Remember that Scooby Gang members suffer fright when they enter the location where the monster is, or when the monster enters the location where they are. A little note, players can place monster tokens on the location where the monster will remove through to help them plan their turns. So basically these tokens, you can go, so the Ghost Clown was here, he goes 1, 2, 3, and he'll end here. And so you can then remove when he moves. Each time a monster enters a location, remove 1 visitor token from the location. If a location ever loses the last visitor token, it becomes haunted. Take 1 haunted token and place it over that location, replacing the location's action. If 2 locations ever become haunted, and then a third becomes haunted at the same time, players immediately lose the game. While haunted, the following rules apply to that location. Players can't perform any location actions there. The location may never gain visitor tokens. If the location has 1 monster token on it, it should remain there until it is refreshed. To refresh a haunted location, a Scooby Gang member must perform the haunted location action while standing on the location. You move 2 cards from the top of the draw deck to the discard pile face up. Once this is done, remove the haunted marker from that location and place 3 visitor tokens back at that location. Once all Scooby Gang members and the monster have played their turns, the round is over. At the end of each round, place all the used Scooby Gang cards face up in the discard deck. Place the used monster card face up next to the monster deck. Return the monster movement tokens to the pool. Then start a new round. The players win the game once all traps in play are completed, as previously stated, but also as previously stated, the players lose the game when a third location becomes haunted. There are no more monster tokens left in the monster token pool when one is required for a monster ability, or there are not enough Scooby Gang cards left to distribute evenly amongst players. That's all you need to know to play Scooby-Doo, the board game. This is the deluxe edition. Now, the rules should stay the same, just primarily if you do have the retail version. The only major difference is there will be a couple added monsters, as well as all the miniatures and everything will be painted, and the mystery machine is fully plastic instead of just a cardboard cutout. Other than that, you should, if you have the standard retail edition, you should be able to follow along with this perfectly fine. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos just like this. And if you're a big fan of the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. I'd like to thank our current Patreon supporters. Your donations mean a lot to this channel. If you'd like to become one, you can support us for as little as $1 a month and get early access to how to play videos, just like the one you just saw. If you're a big fan of the channel and want to show off your fandom, consider going to our Etsy shop. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, where you can check out a bunch of our available t-shirts that you can check out. Be on the lookout for our upcoming gameplay video on Scooby-Doo the board game. But until then, thanks for the views.